Now on CoastTV News.
Mourners gather across the globe. 2 mass shootings across the area, top of mind for police as the search for suspects continue. Plus, reassessment hearing reconvenes. Delaware's legislative gathers for the final meeting about the state's controversial property process.
We had wind chills in the single digits this morning. We're now up to the teens. I'll have details on how long the Arctic air will have its grip on the peninsula.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Today is December 15th. I'm Grace Eckerly and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Starting off by taking a live look out into Rehoboth Beach, and it looks like it didn't even snow yesterday almost. The skies are clear, and we're turning now to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono for a look at today's chilly but sunny forecast. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Grace. Yes, look at that snowpack here from our cam in Laurel. We had about 1 to as much as 2 inches across the area. Higher totals the further north you went in Delaware, parts of Newcastle County, nearly 7 inches. 24 degrees right now in Laurel. You can see those wind chills. Feels like 16 degrees in Laurel. Feels like 14 in Harrington. Feels like 14 in Rehoboth Beach. So a frigid morning on the peninsula. You could actually see the snowpack here on our satellite and those stratocumulus clouds offshore as that Arctic air filters off the warmer Atlantic. High pressure building in, and that's going to allow for dry, cold conditions for the day today. We get those highs up right around 30 degrees this afternoon with wind chills in the teens and 20s. We have another frigid night ahead, but there's a warm up in sight. I'll have details on that coming up here in a bit. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. Now to another Chris. Chris Pauley has been named superintendent of the Delaware Seashore State Park. It's according to DenVrec. He brings 31 years of experience from the Northern Virginia Regional Park Authority, where he oversaw operations for 37 parks across 6 jurisdictions. DenVrec says Pauley will manage day-to-day operations here in our area. Now, the Indian River Volunteer Fire Company sharing this photo here on your screen. Now you're looking at a residential fire in Millsboro on Spencer Court. Indian River Volunteer Fire Company saying emergency responders from Dagsboro, Georgetown, and Millsboro worked on that scene last night. And according to a source close to the Reiner family, Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead inside their Los Angeles home on Sunday from apparent stab wounds. Reiner is considered one of Hollywood's most iconic film directors.
You have to be kidding!
America first came to know him as the hippie son-in-law of the blue-collar bigot Archie Bunker, played by Carol O'Connor in the 70s TV comedy All in the Family. It ran for 9 seasons.
Boss, he's not my son, Gloria. I mean, get your hands off my daughter, you pollute!
While there were other acting roles, it was behind the camera that Rob Reiner had his cinematic impact, inventing the modern romantic comedy with Harry Met Sally with Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. The often quoted The Princess Bride, which has been newly rediscovered by younger audiences, and the military courtroom classic A Few Good Men, where Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson faced off over a murder at the U.S. military base in Guantanamo, Cuba. He once told talk show host Howard Stern that he learned filmmaking from his father, Carl Reiner, himself an actor and screenwriter who had often worked with Steve Martin.
Now, I can tell you that it wasn't until, and this is now, I'm in my mid to late 30s, it wasn't until I did Stand By Me that I started feeling myself. And I thought, okay, I'm carved. I mean, a long, long time it took me to start to carve out my own
identity.
World. Yes.
Reiner was also active in politics. He routinely helped raise money for the Democratic Party. In 1998, he single-handedly championed Proposition 10, a 50-cent per pack tax on cigarettes to finance child education and health programs. He was also a fierce critic of President Trump. This was Reiner on the Jimmy Fallon Show during the president's first term in office.
Unless the public is informed, we don't have a chance to hold this democracy together. So we're trying, we're fighting, and, hopefully we will, because we love this country and we don't want to see it devolve.
Recently releasing Spinal Tap 2, a sequel 4 decades following his first movie, a satirical send-up of the then-popular rock documentary. Rob Reiner was a virtuoso whose intent was to make his audiences laugh, understand life, and to take a stand. To many, he was the best of Hollywood.
Just released moments ago, reports say Reiner's son Nick has been arrested on suspicion of murder. According to LASD Inmate Center records, LAPD detectives took Reiner's son into custody just after 5 a.m. this morning. That bail set at $4 million. Police say they're still trying to bring to justice the suspect in a mass shooting at Brown University over the weekend. They say someone who was a person of interest is going free today. They say they don't have enough evidence to keep him detained or to prosecute him. 2 students are dead and 9 injured after a shooter opened fire in a Brown classroom over the weekend. Community members grieving, honoring the lives lost at a vigil last night. Now, hundreds of mourners in Sydney, Australia are leaving flowers and other mementos, including a menorah, at a gathering at a growing makeshift memorial honoring the victims of a mass shooting on Sunday, where 16 people were killed when 2 gunmen opened fire on a Jewish festival, becoming Australia's deadliest shooting in almost 30 years. 40 other victims remain hospitalized this morning. Back here at home, Bethany Beach considering pedestrian safety upgrades. The Bethany Beach Town Council is expected to discuss 2 DelDOT contracts totaling almost $460,000 for upgrades along Route 26. That plan includes improvements at Route 26 and Kent Avenue intersection. The town would pay about $183,000 while DelDOT manages the work and inspections. People living in Bethany Beach think the potential improvement would aid traffic during busier times of the year.
I know in the summertime there's tons of people walking and riding back and forth to the beach. And actually, if it encouraged people to ride their bikes to the beach, considering how parking is limited during the summertime, I think it'd be great if they could figure a way to pay for it.
That meeting began just a few hours ago at 10 a.m. And happening now, Delaware lawmakers again moving forward with hearings regarding the controversial property reassessments. Today's session began at 9 a.m. this morning at Legislative Hall, and it's expected to deal with school districts and funding. Those hearings are related to a bill that allowed Newcastle school districts to reset its tax rates. And stay with us on CoastTV News Midday, because coming up after the break, property owner renting rules. We'll tell you what Lewis officials are expected to discuss this week regarding unit rentals.
We'll continue to have biting wind chills throughout the afternoon, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. We'll finally get above the freezing mark into Tuesday. Gets even milder by mid to late week. Congratulations to Carol Gold of Millville, Delaware on winning an umbrella from CoastTV. Your full forecast is just minutes away.
Here's a look at an accessory dwelling unit that's defined as a second independent living space sat on the same property as a main house. Wednesday, the Lewis Planning Commission will discuss the rules surrounding these ADUs in the city, and specifically the requirement that property owners must live in one part of an ADU. In a beach community like Lewis, the city says there are several existing ADUs where both units are being used as short-term rentals, and those people are breaking the rules because according to the code, the property owner must live in one of the units. Realtor Lee Ann Wilkinson previously wrote a letter to the Lewis Planning Commission saying the ADU ordinance needs to be looked at closer to make things more fair.
If you don't count the duplexes, if you don't count the townhouse communities, condo communities, those all are allowed to be rented as short-term rentals, all of them. So why does this poor little 2.6% of our homes not get the same rights that everybody else has?
The Lewis Planning Commission is scheduled to meet at 6:30 on Wednesday night. And coming up next, First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono in the CoastTV Weather Center. He's forecasting a chilly forecast, but maybe a warm spell coming up.
It has been a frigid 24 hours on the Delmarva Peninsula after the snow. We've had wind chills as low as 3 degrees. As we take a live look into Rehoboth, we got the whole beach to ourselves here. Actually, somebody's walking their dog there. If you're venturing out, bundle up. 25 degrees. Winds continue out of the northwest. It is 25 in Milton, 24 Harrington. So temperatures are relatively uniform, and you can see winds are still gusting to near 22 miles an hour in Salisbury. 22 Indian River Inlet, so wind chills are in the teens. It feels like 14 degrees in Rehoboth, feels like 16 in Georgetown, and 14 in Harrington. You can see the snowpack on the satellite through the midshore and most of the northern part of Delmarva up through the I-95 corridor. Stratocumulus clouds forming well out to sea as that Arctic air filters over the area. There's a little upper level energy that's pushing through. So we'll see a few of these clouds back off to the west filter in throughout the afternoon, but we're going to be dry over the next really through Thursday night as high pressure builds into the area. You can see the current snowpack stretching from the upper plains through the Great Lakes region right through the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. About 31.7% of the United States covered in snow at this hour. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 20s. Now the wind chill, notice the wind chill and the temperature virtually the same as we're going in the evening. So the winds are going to relax themselves through the evening and overnight. So that's some good news, but it's still another cold night. We'll dip to 18 in Georgetown, 20 in Lewis, 22 in Bethany under mainly clear skies. So we wake up tomorrow with a few of those wind chills in the teens, feeling like 13 in Ellendale tomorrow morning, 19 in Rehoboth, but we are going to begin to moderate as we go into the afternoon tomorrow. There's those partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. It's going to be another clear night as those clouds shift offshore. It'll be mostly sunny into the day on Tuesday as we make a run to near 40 degrees across some parts of the peninsula. Average high is 50. We're going to be right at that on Wednesday. Then we see a surge in temperature, 58. Some of us will be in the 60s on Thursday. That's ahead of another powerful cold front that's going to bring a round of rain, a soaking rain late Thursday through Friday. Yes, this is a rain event. You can see the rain stretching all the way up to the Poconos, upstate New York, as a surge of mild air ahead of this front. Behind it will dry out and cool down back into the 40s over the weekend. So we're at 58 on a Thursday. Most of Thursday is dry. Then as we get into Thursday night, that's when the rain will arrive, and that rain will continue into Friday morning. So it'll be a rather damp start to Friday. 56, temperatures will fall throughout the day, and then we start the weekend off on a dry, sunny note, 43, and then we're looking at a temperature of 53 degrees by Sunday. Grace.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 6 p.m. live boys high school basketball when Pocomoke visits Salisbury School. Then catch the final score at 10:30 p.m. You can watch that Pocomoke-Salisbury game that we just mentioned on DSN Plus, along with these exclusives. At 4 p.m., Seaford hosts St. Peter and Paul in girls basketball, and then a couple of boys basketball games. At 5:30, Worcester Prep is at Delmarva Christian. At 5:45, Snow Hill faces Parkside. And here's what you can look forward to this afternoon on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Coming up today on Coast Life, the return of my co-host. We're going to have Leah Rizzo joining us in studio, probably looking a little tanner and ready to tell us a few tales of her trips abroad. Plus, we're going to be sitting down with the gang from Parker Group. They have a big Christmas event coming up at the end of the week, and you're not going to want to miss it as we get into some deep talkers, debates, arguments. Usually I'm the winner. It's all here on Coast Life.
We continue to raise money for our Bless Our Children campaign. We are raising those funds to ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open this time of the year. And when you send in a card with a donation, we place that card on our tree. And here is the latest one that's going up. We got this great winter scene of this cardinal on the pine tree branch. And this one was sent to us by Melanie and Robert in Ocean Pines. Thank you so much. And this card is going up on our tree. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help send a donation and a holiday card, we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
You have already helped to raise over $315,000 to help children and families this holiday season. Again, we would like to thank all who have donated. The Department of Transportation State Highway Administration is warning drivers about upcoming daytime road work on the Ocean City Expressway. Crews will begin pavement patching on MD 90 Tuesday, December 16th, tomorrow, at US 50 and MD 589. You can see that area right here on your screen now, and officials say work will run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow through Friday. And BB Healthcare will break ground Wednesday afternoon on its newest health campus in Millsboro. It's located near the new bypass at Sheep Pen Road and Route 20. BB says this new facility will include a freestanding emergency department with pediatric care, walk-in services, lab services, as well as a retail pharmacy.
We have sunny skies in Lewis, but not really warming us up all that much. We're at 26 degrees right now. Winds are out of the west, northwest at about 7 miles an hour, so temperatures will hold upper 20s under partly cloudy skies, but it's going to feel more like the teens and 20s throughout the afternoon. You get your latest forecast by calling our First Alert Weather Phone, sponsored by Broxton Mandala's Federico. There's a warm-up coming. I'll bring that to you in the 10-day forecast next. Hanukkah rolled in last night, and it has been a cold start to the holiday, as we're going to be seeing temperatures right around 30 degrees this afternoon, but it's going to feel more like the teens and low 20s throughout the day under partly cloudy skies. And we're going to continue the cold theme into our Tuesday, but get above the freezing mark, and then a warming trend begins. We're seasonable into Wednesday, partly sunny skies. We're at 58 into Thursday. Some of us will likely get into the lower 60s across the peninsula. That's ahead of a strong cold front that's going to bring us soaking rain late Thursday through Friday. We'll dry it out in through the start of the weekend, 43 degrees. And as we creep into Christmas week here, Christmas Eve right now looking dry, 45 degrees. Grace.
Well, it doesn't sound like it'll be a white Christmas then, Chris. Well, thank you for that, and thank you at home for joining us for Coast TV News Midday. If you like more local news or weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us back here for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. But until then, have a great day.